Hello, everybody. It's me, Mr. Big T Anderson, and today we got Insanity Clicker. Now, for those who don't know what a clicker game is, it's something that really doesn't have an end. It's just something in a set world, at situation where you constantly grow. So, that in mind, I've played it up a little bit. This is actually a clicker game I enjoyed. Here's the number system. If you kind of don't know what the symbols mean, basically it just goes up until a lot. And if you hit a lot, then you've done your job in life. Or you've done your job at least in this game, so to speak. Goes from 1,000 equals a K to numbers we will probably not see in this episode. I'm at billions. So, anyway, clicker game, you just start off clicking. You click enemies, and that's usually you get allies. And usually the first ally will either help your click, or it's going to be something where you can start doing damage easier. In this case, the bat helps your click damage. And you just kind of go from there. And as you gather resources, stronger allies will be available for you. And the amount of... And most of these allies will do damage per second. And with that damage per second, it'll rise, and you'll be able to unlock abilities and do what you need to do better, and, so on and so forth. And it's not a game you're going to sink hours upon it at a time, but it's a game where you can also let it run or just check back in after a while, and your guys will continue collecting teeth. So you don't have to play it all the time. It's something where you just check in every so often. And you know what? Clicker games, if done well, it's fine. But as a free game, stuff like this is how they're going to be trying to make money. Now, crystals are important, and I don't pay. So I'm not going to be getting a whole lot of them. I think I have like 4. Really, I haven't found it to be important unless you go for PvP, which this does have PvP gameplay. I'm not going to use it. So, for me, what can I say? I'm a simple folk. Let me do something here. A little bit quiet. Let's try this. Much better. Also, teeth knocking physics. I don't want to test it. Some games have been a little bit meh when recording, so we're just going to make it a little bit simpler. But yeah, this is it. This is a clicker game. And one of the reasons I kind of like this, it's a horror-based clicker game. I don't know who thought of that, but the art was well done. Ooh, got a crystal. Groovy. I mean, the art is well done. You can look at that and go, oh. Wrong one. Anyway, this is the shop. But yeah, this is where the crystals go, and since I don't use PvP, kind of useless for me, but in any case, just look at that kind of artwork. That is some legit stuff. Let's see here. Got a couple skills unlocked. Used one just a little bit earlier before recording. But you can kind of see how all the guys will go up in damage. There is a, there's a curve to it. I want that. Yoink, yoink, yoink. There we go. Titan strength. That's... Okay, so this is the boss. There's bosses every 5 levels. And usually for bosses, if it's going to be a little bit difficult, I pop my abilities and just wail. Also, for bosses, if you notice, you get a time limit. 30 seconds is the normal. And you can actually also see a public channel. There's a fair amount of activity. It's not like millions of people, but I think I've played it a little bit, and I haven't seen a whole lot of times where it's completely dead. Usually there'll be a couple people chatting away in it. And also, it has a fair amount of Russian-speaking players. So I don't know why on that one. Just a little interesting fact. If you know Russian, you're probably going to be able to understand more. But I don't use PvP, and that's one of the main subjects. So, I mean, part of me, I love to draw. And looking at this art, I mean, look at the detail. And yes, they go through creatures, but you could see there's a fair number. They had to draw it with a fair amount of detail apiece. That's hard to do. Let's see. Yeah, PvP. Called it. Alrighty. Hulk. Equipment, I haven't found any. I think it comes from PvP play. I don't care. This is a nice little thing to kind of go, oh, let me start the day before I do. Let me just check how my guys are doing. You know, level up a couple times. Go to the next boss. And then just turn the game off and go on your day. And that's kind of the nice thing about clicker games. If they're done well, you don't need to spend a whole lot of time, but they're still fun to play. This one's a little bit more grindy, but I think the art, at least in my eyes, makes up for it. I can enjoy it. Just look at that. I mean, and here's some of the guys I have. By the way, I may have spent a little bit of time. Just a little bit. Now, achievements. This is dependent on where the game is, but I found it across the board. When you get an achievement, you'll get a small increase, or some form or fashion. So, like, this one would increase DPS by 3, by 2, you know, click how many times per second, finish different levels. This one has a lot of them, so you could really power up your damage per second. Is that a Russian one? Probably. That would probably explain it. I'm guessing the studio's Russian. Let me turn this on, just see what happens. I've never... It's full of jewels. Groovy. So that may have been my 5th one then. I may have been off. I don't look at my crystals. I apologize. So, meh. Oh. Also, it's nice when you're mad at something to just kind of go and, you know, poke it with a stick. Yeah, there are... Wow, I think that is Russian. But, I mean, look at that. This is clearly from, you know, something with an Asian twist. Monstrous animal kind of beings. I think that's a base, you know, jump off of the werewolf idea. It's just, I mean, you see so much. For me, art really sells it, so that's something where I know this is not a game where other people like, or the kind of game where people will like. It's not like a major shooter, but let's see. Anyway, but if you like games or you're open-minded about it and you like, you know, horror art, you can see that there's a lot here that you can really enjoy. So I'll leave a link down below. If you give it a crack, tell me what you think, and you know what? You have a good one. Ta-ta!